Hi everyone, welcome to the Alchemy Scope. So this has been wanting to come forward for quite a while, but here we are at the very end of 2014 and it couldn't wait any longer. It was really calling to come forward. So there was one intention when this came to me months ago, there was one intention of bringing forward this particular new moon alchemy scope for the signs, which is to provide you tools and information that will help support your journey of your soul's maturation and evolution process that's underway, because it is underway rapidly, and we're needing as much support as we can get. So this is intended to support your journey wholly. So there are 6 components to every new moon alchemy scope that's going to be coming out. One is the symbology. We're going to look on the macrocosmic scale, on a general scale for the collective, what symbology is imbued at the degree point for the new moon that's informing this next 30-day cycle. Then on the microcosmic scale, I'm going to throw the I Ching for you, and we're going to look at your particular theme that's going to be playing out and what's going to be being called forward within you to grow and mature. And then I'm going to do a spread. I'm either going to use the Bral Talej deck, or I'm going to use a deck of 144 card deck that I created I call the Siri deck. So I'm going to either use the Bral Talej or the Siri deck to pull some information about an event or situation that might emerge for you this month that your soul has called forward for you to grow and mature through. And then we're going to look at the archetypes. I'm going to pull from the Carolyn Miss Archetype deck, and we're going to find out which archetype, which archetypal qualities are wanting to come through you, evolve through you this month, mature essentially. And then we're going to pull an Ascended Masters card for support from Doreen Virtue's deck. And finally, I'm going to provide you a Dakini from Penny Slinger's 64 Dakini Oracle, and they're quite powerful, and there's a lot of information. So I'm going to provide a link at the end of the video where you can go and access the information, because it's something you want to sit and read with. Excuse me, you want to read through and then you want to work with, because there are affirmations and rituals and stuff that Penny recommends. And I find them quite powerful. This is goddess energy, this is archetypal energy, this is themed energy. So the Dakini will provide you a theme to dive into in the coming 30 days that will serve your growth. Okay? So let's get started on the individual signs. So let's talk about the macrocosmic cycle that's unfolding with this new moon. The Sabian symbol that's imbued at 0 degrees Sagittarius, which is the new moon point happening on November 22nd and informing our next 30-day cycle, is retired Army veterans gather to reawaken old memories. Now, this is an important period of time that we're walking through right now. This particular new moon is the second of 3 consecutive new moons happening at the 0 degree point. October 23rd had it at 0 degrees Scorpio. Next month we have it at 0 degrees Capricorn on December 22nd. So we're in the middle of a portal time frame right now that is quite powerful. 0 is the alpha and the omega. 0 is beginnings and endings. 0 is potentiality. It is your pure empowerment. So this is a big, big time. It's no number, yet it is the container for all. It is the Fool in the tarot. This is pure potentiality. This is activation of your truest, highest self. This is about activating and actualizing your soul print, everyone. So this new moon is fascinating because it is happening in Sagittarius. Sagittarius represents higher mind, optimism, journeying forward, freedom, expansion, adventure. And the fact that the symbol that's imbued with this new moon is about, you know, coming together post-war, and a lot of us have been through a lot of difficulties over the course of the last year or many years recently as systems start collapsing and we're really being called to become our full and whole selves. We're being called to really look back and see what has worked, what hasn't worked, what has served us, what do we want to rebuild anew, what do we need to let go of. So at this new moon, it's the duality of both and, where we're looking forward, yet we're having to look back. So that's pretty powerful stuff. And for me, that's about extracting what it is that worked, letting go what didn't, and moving forward into the new self, the new whole self. So this is really a beautiful time. So let's go into each sign and look at what event or situation might be influencing you this month. So Libra, let's take a look at the I Ching hexagram that came up for you for this month. You received 34 great vigor. A couple things I want to say off the top here. One is I did the ritual through the coins for you to create the hexagram off camera in a separate ritual. I did that for you and for the rest of the signs. The reason being is that it can be time consuming to do it on camera. However, I might do it in a future alchemy scope on camera. The other is I'm using the interpretation language from the visionary I Ching that was developed by Paul O'Brien. The reason being is that the language is simply more resonant with modern day. But this is the original I Ching meanings and hexagrams. So 34 great vigor. Let me read to you what it says. Congratulations, there is strength and vigor in the situation, like a ram that has knocked down a fence to free himself from captivity. This points to a time when a strong force comes into its own and achieves power. When a leader finally comes into power, his or her personal strength usually has peaked. Great strength has been required in climbing to the mountaintop, but once at the summit, the support of others is needed to maintain position. A shift in attitude becomes necessary. Persevere in what is right and just. Raw strength must be tempered by wisdom. To maintain power, the strong leader must learn to give it away, to share it with others. Only then will his position be secure, for he will not only be the possessor of power, but a source of it as well. If you find yourself in a powerful position, it is especially important to act responsibly and react with care. Power must not be allowed to denigrate into raw force that rides roughshod over everything in its path. A strong sense of responsibility to the collective good is the key to the successful exercise of power. By following what we intuitively know to be for the greater good, we avoid reckless abuses of power, which in the end undermine the source of our strength. Arrogance contains the seeds of its own undoing. So this is 34 great vigor, the theme that will likely emerge for you during this next month. So let's see what's next. Hi Libra. So I went ahead and shuffled my deck. I'm using my 144 card series deck that I created for myself a few years ago. And the spread that I'm pulling, oh boy. Okay, so there's some intense stuff coming up, perhaps. Important month for you, Libra. So I'm pulling what's called a synchronic spread. This was developed by Shama Viola for the Bral Talej deck. It's another deck that I also use. Okay. So Libra, it does look like December will be an important month for you. You're going to want to stay alert and attentive. Pay attention to what's going on. These are my own images for this deck. You can see Be nice in your comments. These are all my own. So these are images that resonate for me, obviously. They're not going to resonate for everybody, but this is my personal deck that I'm using. So yeah, this will be an important month for you, Libras. There's going to be, well, it looks like as you enter this month, so post new moon in November 22nd. So for the most of the month of December, it does look like you're going through some challenges now. There's some issues happening, unfolding. There's certainly some storm and upset that's unfolding. This could be on a physical level, your bodily level. This could be the atmosphere that you're within now. Family, work, environment, home. But you could be going through some upset, some general upset right now. And it looks like your mind is quite active. There's various things, various thoughts pulsating in and out. Busy mind, lots going on, lots to review. You are protected. Spirit is saying you are protected. You are safe, but you do have lots going on in your mind. And you are going through difficulties. Emotionally, it looks like you're feeling in December like there might be some deception that's playing out with regard to bliss, with regard to, I don't know, what you thought made you happy maybe isn't what makes you happy. So here's my bliss card. So, don't you love Shrek? So, yeah, it looks like an appreciation. So it looks like it, with regard to happiness and gratitude, you feel like you have been deceived, perhaps. So in a general way, December is a matter of you riding this storm, knowing that it's important that you brought this forward to learn from. So you want to eke as much information and learnings from this month as you possibly can. And of course, this is a general reading. This is not going to apply to all Libras. Certainly there's Libras out there that aren't going through tremendous difficulties. But for those of you needing to hear this, this is applying to some Libras out there, okay? So an important month to pay attention and to learn the soul lessons that are coming forward with you with regard to getting clear emotionally on what is illusion, what is deception, and what's not, what might be presenting or interpreted as deception, but it's actually not. So this is a month to ride the wave and to learn as much as you can from it. So let's take a look at the archetype that wants to mature through you this month, wants to come forward to you, with you, through you this month. This is the Carolyn Myss archetype card deck. Carolyn Myss was a former medical intuitive, and she's spoken about the archetypes that live within us for many years. She brings forward what Carl Jung brought forward in the 50s about the archetypes embedded in the collective unconscious, and also those that live within us. And that's also the work that I do as well. All living systems imbue story, all of them. And we are no different. Our psyches, our souls, all are imbued with story. There'll be more information coming forward about that at a later time. So let's see for this next 30-day period, what archetype wants to grow or evolve within you this month. Ooh, you get warrior. So I'll have you look at it and then I'll read it. Warrior is wanting to come through you. So you can see her on the card. She has the light attributes and the, I guess she calls it the shadow attributes. I call it the higher frequency and the lower frequency manifestations. It's the polarity points of any archetype. So for the higher frequency manifestation of warrior that is wanting to evolve and wanting to come through you this month, it is strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. So this is about really being a warrior with yourself It's a bit Saturnian, isn't it? There's a bit of a self-teachering aspect to this. Now, the shadow attributes, trading ethical principles for victory at any cost, indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. Yeah, trading ethical principles for victory at any cost, indifference to the suffering of others. So there's a coldness that's at play with the shadow aspects, or the lower frequency vibration. So warrior is about discipline of self, but it's about connection to your power. There's a depth there that's pretty definitive. Beautiful. Wonderful. So let's look at the Ascended Master. This is Doreen Virtue's Ascended Master deck. Many of you know Doreen Virtue. She has many card sets. This particular deck I really resonate with. I love it. Well, I'm going to pull this one out because it really did pop up. It's Merlin, energy healing. So, and this came for another sign as well. So this is interesting. Merlin's magic is really wanting to come through so far. So let me read it to you. Merlin, energy healing. So this is a special message. It's a theme. It's something that will support you this month. Let's see. Here we go. Merlin. Okay. So the situation you've inquired about involves energy healing. You have healing abilities that you can direct through your hands, thoughts, and heart, sending loving energy to elevate and heal the situation. You can clear the energy in a home, office, or vehicle as well. Your experiences with energy healing may be so powerful that you decide to conduct healings as a profession. So, yeah, this is a major healing card. So it's healing of self, it's healing of other, it's healing of environment. And it's about possibly diving into it too. If you've thought about it, there's many people now that are diving into healing professions. Many people are called to do that now. Like their deeper truth is calling to come out and be expressed. I mean, our whole goal now is to be fully expressed of our soul print, of who we really are. So if you are a healer, if you've intuited that, if you know that at some level, or if you'd like clarification on that, I can help you with that as well. I'll leave some links below. But this is beautiful. So this is wanting to really start to come through you in the month of December 2014. So let's see what other goodies we have for you. So the final component to your December alchemy scope, Libra, is your Dakini. And this Dakini came forward for you to provide you qualities and various bits of information that will support you over the next 30-day cycle. So you received 16 Apsara Cultura. And again, this is from Penny Slinger's 64 Dakini Oracle. Let me read just a little bit to you here so you can get a taste, and then the link to the full PDF document is below if you'd like to dive deeper. Apsara abides in the heavenly regions and flows into being like water as she dances in the water palaces, reflecting divine sensibility. Apsaras are female spirits of the clouds and waters in Hindu and Buddhist mythology. They are referred to as celestial nymphs and are heavenly beings who delight with their dance, their beauty, their music, and their song. They are the dancing girls of the divine plains. They are featured prominently in the spiritual art of Cambodia, Thailand, and Bali. Apsara Cultura Dakini brings the vision of a high culture where refined frequencies are given a place of honor in society. They dance to the music made by their husbands, usually in the palaces of the gods, and entertain gods and fallen heroes. Traditionally, Apsaras are described as celestial maidens living in the god Indra's heaven. Indra sends them to earth to seduce ascetics, who by their severe practices may become more powerful than the gods. So that gives you just a flavor. It's interesting though, isn't it? Because a lot of what's being described here is inherently very Libran. These are very Venusian, Libran qualities of beauty and music and kind of the refined frequencies. So this is going to be an interesting month for you. Beautiful. I'm wishing you a wonderful December, and I will see you next month for the next Alchemy Scope. And a final note, the products that I offer, the archetypal profile, the symbolic profile, holistic sessions, that all help people get clear on the archetypes, the symbols, and the general evolutionary trajectory their soul is encoded with. All of those services are available via gift certificate. So if you have family members or friends who you would love to give the gift of clarity this year to, I have wonderful, easy gift certificates that can provide some not only fun, but wonderful and kind of deep and meaningful gifts. So I invite you to go to the website and take a look. Links are below, and contact me with if should you have any questions whatsoever, if you need clarity on what any of these items are. But archetypal profile, symbolic profile, the combination of both, and the holistic sessions are wonderful offerings to help people really see various aspects of themselves very clearly. And this is just such a beautiful time to do that. All right. Happy holidays, everybody.